Breaking news today. Putin and Kim Jong-un summit confirmed? The Kremlin says it can't confirm it. On Tuesday, the Kremlin refused to confirm the expected summit between Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The United States government and media have both reported that they anticipate Kim will travel to Russia to meet with Putin. When asked if Kim and Putin would meet soon, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said, "No, we cannot confirm this." When asked for comment, we uttered, "We have nothing to say on this." The United States has charged the Democratic People's Republic of Korea with arming Russia's offensive in Ukraine. Russia maintains cordial ties with the reclusive state, one of only a select few that do so. Its offensive in Ukraine has dragged on for months, and in that time it has worked to strengthen ties with Pyongyang. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu, who traveled to Pyongyang in July, hinted at possible joint military drills with Pyongyang on Monday. Why not? Shoigu was asked about the possible drills, and he reportedly responded, "They are our neighbors," as reported by the TASS news agency. On July 27, Shoigu visited Pyongyang and became Kim's first known foreign guest since the COVID-19 pandemic. In a private tour, the North Korean leader took him to see the country's nuclear missile facilities in Pyongyang. Russia and North Korea have a very brief border along the Pacific coast. In 2019, Kim met with Putin in the far eastern Russian city of Vladivostok, so if he does visit, he will likely take an armored train across the border. For his role in a failed plot to keep Donald Trump in power after the Republican lost the 2020 presidential election, former Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio was given a 22-year prison term. The sentencing on Tuesday concludes one of the largest prosecutions related to the attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Among the more than 1,100 cases involving the Capitol riot, Tarrio's is the longest. Both Stuart Rhodes, founder of Oath Keepers, and Ethan Nordean, former leader of the Proud Boys, were convicted on January 6 and given 18 years in prison. After the hearing, Tarrio's lawyers told reporters that they will appeal and that they asked for a sentence of no more than 15 years in prison. Is he taking a plane or a train? How Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin may arrange for another summit in Russia. South Korea's capital, Seoul, AP, Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, may travel to Russia later this month. His first trip of 2019 involved a 20-hour journey in an armored train painted green and yellow, a peculiar symbol of the Kim dynasty. The United States has reported that Kim may travel to Russia this month to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in an effort to move forward with negotiations over the sale of Russian weapons to North Korea. This trip would be Kim's first overseas since the pandemic began. How Kim, the 39-year-old dictator, would get there is the main topic of media coverage. Before their April 2019 meeting in Vladivostok, Kim and Putin had to travel for a full day, including across a border river, in order to meet. The G20 summit is a great opportunity for India's Prime Minister to show off his international credentials and win over voters at home. The Associated Press reports that in New Delhi, the Indian government has capitalized on its position as host of the G20 summit this year by launching a massive advertising campaign. That Modi is gaining international respect for India is the message it sends loud and clear. Political observers in India see this message as part of a larger effort to promote Prime Minister Modi to the position of Vishwaguru, world leader, on the international stage. A prime minister who has used the optics of New Delhi's growing geopolitical forays at the global level to consolidate power, Modi's enthusiasm for a global summit is indicative of his personal ambitions, according to experts. In the upcoming national election, Modi will be running for a third term as prime minister. Attorneys have blamed cable and phone companies for the Maui blazes as well. Hawaii, AP, an attorney for residents and business owners in a Hawaiian town hit hard by last month's fires on Maui, testified that cable TV and telephone companies should bear some of the blame. On Tuesday, lawyers said their clients had evidence that the companies had overloaded and destabilized some utility poles. On August 8, when flames destroyed much of Lahaina, killing at least 115 people and destroying over 2,000 structures, Lawyers said the cables were attached in a way that put too much tension on the poles, causing them to lean and break in the winds. At least 21 people have been killed and over 1,600 have been displaced due to a violent storm in southern Brazil. Shanghai, AFP, at least 21 people have been killed, according to authorities in southern Brazil, as a result of floods in several cities. On Tuesday, the governor of Rio Grande do Sul state announced that this climate disaster has claimed the highest number of lives in the state's history. The governor claims that 15 of the deaths in the city of Mucum, population 50,000, occurred in a single residence. He estimates that 60 or so cities were affected by the extratropical cyclone. At least 1,650 people have been displaced from their homes, according to the state government of Rio Grande do Sul. Lee, now a tropical storm, is expected to strengthen into a major hurricane and make landfall in the Caribbean. AP, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Tropical storm Lee has formed in the Atlantic, and forecasters say it will strengthen into a major hurricane before making landfall in the Caribbean. As Tuesday drew to a close, the eye of the storm was about 1,230 miles, 1,980 kilometers, east of the Lesser Antilles. Sustained winds peaked at 50 miles per hour, 85 kilometers per hour, with a west-northwest heading and a speed of 16 miles per hour, 26 kilometers per hour. Over the weekend, it was expected to gain strength and pass just to the northeast of the Caribbean. No landfall is expected, according to preliminary forecasts. Texas's Attorney General, the former ally who turned Ken Paxton into the FBI, is the first witness in his impeachment trial. Spring, Texas, AP, former aide who turned in Texas AG Ken Paxton to the FBI in 2020 is the first witness in his impeachment trial. After skipping out on the opening of the historic proceedings, it is unclear if Paxton will return to the state Senate on Wednesday. His former number 2 in the administration is the first target of the Republicans leading the impeachment, who are moving forward without him. In the coming weeks, this could be the first of many former allies to turn on Paxton and testify against him. After entering a not guilty plea at the trial's outset, Paxton disappeared on Tuesday, when opening statements began. Congressional control in 2024 may depend on court battles over voting districts. Some southern states' courts have issued rulings that could impact the 2024 congressional election. Recent judicial decisions in both Alabama and Florida found that maps drafted by Republican-led legislatures did not provide black voters with a fair chance to elect candidates of their choice. The Democratic Party may gain seats if these rulings hold up on appeal. Districts in North Carolina are expected to be redrawn, which will benefit Republicans, while ongoing court battles in Georgia and Louisiana could benefit Democrats. There is currently active litigation in about a dozen states concerning the drawing of congressional districts. Why is green hydrogen being promoted as a clean fuel, and what exactly is it? The elimination of carbon emissions from traditionally high-emitting industries like transportation and manufacturing has many people hopeful that green hydrogen is the answer. The group of 20 leaders meeting this week in New Delhi are likely to discuss international initiatives to increase green hydrogen production and distribution. Hydrogen is considered green when it is extracted from molecules where it is combined with other elements. Electrolysis of water, or H20, for its chemical formula of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom, is a common method for this. But unless renewable energy like solar or wind is used in the production process, it is not green hydrogen. It has been argued that the fuel is not always commercially viable.